Hey Stitch Cutie, I'm Brittany with Stitches of Love Quilting, and in this video I'm going to show you the perfect stack of everything you need to be successful with your applique projects. So for those of you that are new to Stitches of Love, we specialize in unique, one-of-a-kind, fun applique projects and block of the month clubs. So while we make it as easy as possible by pre-fusing and laser cutting all of your applique pieces, when you get your box in the mail, you still want to have a few notions to increase your accuracy and eliminate errors. So let's talk about what those are. Now, you're gonna see these in every video tutorial, so I'm not gonna show you exactly how I use each piece, but I'm gonna tell you what I use them for. So, of course, I always have my favorite scissors. These are Karen K. Buckley scissors, and what I love is that they're sharp all the way to the tip, and I know you can't see it on camera, but they are serrated, which means you get a really nice, accurate cut, which is very handy to have. And as a quilter, you know accuracy with cutting trickles down to every aspect of your project. So when you're working with applique, it's prefused with heat and bond light, correct? So you're gonna be building applique units, and then you're gonna assemble that onto your background fabric. So to do that, you're gonna want a few things. We have an absolutely awesome applique system that consists of a few key tools. The first thing I'm gonna show you is one that you might not have ever seen before, and that is the Applique Glass Mat. So this glass mat allows you to put your placement guide on it, then your fusing mat over it, and then you can easily iron on top of your light pad without affecting your light pad. So what I use for my light pad, I'll hold it up for you. It's amazing. It is so slim. Notice no cords. It's cordless, so you can move it around in your sewing room or take it to retreats. It's really great. And I love that it has 1, 2, 3 levels. Look how bright that is. Ah! And it's super thin, super lightweight. So I put that at the bottom of my stack. Then on top of that, I put my Applique Glass Mat that's safe for ironing on. And then what I'm gonna do is take my placement guide from my pattern. Now, as you know with Stitches of Love patterns, we give you all of your applique pieces to size, and it's very easy just to follow the numbers to build your applique placements. So what you'll do then is put that on top of your glass mat, and then you can do applique without a pressing sheet. So these are awesome. This is called the Precision Fusing Mat. And what I love about it is, one, it's nice and see-through. So when you put it over your pieces, you can so nicely see your lines. Let me hold this up for you. Take a look at that. It's so easy to build your units. And then, so you don't burn your fingers, you want to use your SteamFast travel iron. I love using this for sewing machine applique or embroidery machine applique because it's great for ironing in the hoop as well. So you simply can iron your applique pieces and build your unit while still getting to use your light pad. This is game changing because before you would get your pieces in place, take it off your light pad to another pressing surface and then back. And you know when you're moving it, you mess up your accuracy. So this system is awesome. Another great thing about this light pad is it comes with a self-healing cutting mat. And I love this. So that's why it's part of my perfect stack as well, because when I'm done with my project and I need to trim using my applique placement guide and my ruler that's on this, I can trim for a perfect background square so I can move on to the rest of my quilt. So typically I keep that right on top of my glass mat until I'm ready to use any of the pieces. So again, perfect stack. Now, when I'm done building all my applique units and I want to put it on my background fabric or do my final pressing, I love to have my Steady Betty. That way I keep it with me in front of my embroidery machine or my sewing machine, and I don't have to get up and go across the room to my larger iron that I would use maybe when I'm like ironing the quilt at the end and things like that. So this Steady Betty is 12 inches by 16 inches, so it coordinates with all of my stack. It's amazing. Now, when you get to actually sewing, we get this question all the time. What stabilizer do we recommend? And we are so thrilled to recommend a product from our friends at Sulky. We carry this on our website, and it is Tear Easy Lightweight Stabilizer. And there are a couple things I love about it. When you're doing sewing machine applique, meaning you're using your sewing machine and your favorite applique stitch, when you're done with all of that and you're pulling your stabilizer away, you don't want to distort your stitches, right? You just did all that work. You don't want to mess it up. And I love that this tears away so easily, but it still gives you that stability you need to make sure your stitches are perfect while you're stitching. Now, another thing I absolutely love about the stabilizers, of course, I can use it for the embroidery machine. Take a look. It is so great. One thing that I love about it is that I can actually see through it. So while I'm building my project, I can see what's going on underneath, right? And I really love that. So it's great. And again, let me just show you how awesome this iron is when you're working with this. You'll notice in all the video tutorials, you'll always see my hoop on top of my Steady Betty with this handy dandy little iron. It's great. And what I love is one roll of this will do probably 2 to 3 projects for you. So grab a couple of rolls, keep it stocked up in your sewing room, and you'll always have the tools you need. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about the fusing mat that you're gonna love is you actually get 2 fusing mats in one step. So what's great is not only do you get the fusing mat, which is kind of tacky, right? The one that I held up for you, you also get the traditional Teflon pressing sheet in here as well. I don't use that one as much, but when I do, I like to use it when I'm putting it on top of my applique pieces and doing like a final press. So again, I use one of them more than the other, but how nice is it to have 2 of them for the price in one box? You can't beat that. And last but not least, we must talk about our needles and our threads. So what we have for you are Sulky thread kits that are made to perfection for your sewing projects. Now we have 3 different weights, and I'm going to tell you about the differences in the thread weights. Especially if you're new to applique or the embroidery machine, there is a difference in the threads you want to use for the use, right? So if you are working with your sewing machine, meaning you are doing sewing machine applique and you're guiding your sewing machine and doing your favorite applique stitch, you're going to want to use a 30 weight thread in your needle. You're going to use a size universal 90-14 needle, and then you're going to put a 50 weight matching thread in your bobbin. Now the reason that you want to match your threads is so that your tension, could be off on your machine, right? If you match your threads on that sewing machine, you're going to guarantee a perfect stitch. And it's really easy just to make a quick bobbin from our thread sets. So we have a special size of 30 weight spools made specifically for Stitches of Love by our friends at Sulky. You can't buy them anywhere else. And that is this amazing petite size of 30 weight cotton threads. It's awesome because 1, they're less expensive than the larger spools, which means you can grow a huge thread stash, which as a quilter, was fun. And then of course it coordinates to the same size spools for the 50 weight cotton. So if you're doing a sewing machine applique project or club, look for the 30 weight and 50 weight thread kits that coordinate with your project. Now, if you're doing the embroidery machine, which is my personal favorite way, you're gonna wanna use a 40 weight rayon thread in your machine. And again, we have these same size spools, same colors that you would use on your 30 or 50 weight projects. And what I love about these is, one, again, you can build a huge stash of all your beautiful thread colors, and it is a dream in your embroidery machine. Now, I always use the 40 weight rayon in my needle, and I use an embroidery needle that is a 75-11 size. And then in my bobbin, I'm just gonna let you in on a secret on the embroidery machine. I'm lazy, so I go to a big box store and I buy 100 pre-wound white bobbins of 90 weight cotton, right? Because the embroidery machine functions a little different than your sewing machine, so you have a little bit more accurate tension there and you never have a problem with your bobbin. Now, if you want to make matching bobbins, you certainly can. And I know a lot of our friends that join us in clubs have said they've had great success in using the coordinating 50 weight cotton threads to make their bobbins for the embroidery machine as well. But again, quick trick, buy the bobbins pre-wound for your embroidery machine. So I think that about covers all of our favorite notions. Head over to our YouTube channel and check out all of our tutorials where we see all of this in use in every single tutorial. As always, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment and/or email, and we'll answer as quickly as possible. We are so glad you're joining us for all these really fun projects, and we look forward to sewing together. Happy stitching!